What's going on, guys? Back, quick check in here on the New England Shakeup. Not really labeling this one an episode today because it's really just a deep dive into some players with the Celtics and a deep dive on maybe this team possibly repeating next year. Some quick news from obviously my co host, but a quick word from our sponsor. Crazy Good Kitchen is located on 168 Newberry Street down there in Boston, Massachusetts. Make sure you guys go and check them out. It is a great place to eat some very exotic food, such as a chicken waffle sandwich, salmon tacos, and a lemon Frita, which apparently is like some fish literally just cooked on lemons and then given to you tableside. So make sure you guys go and check out Crazy Good Kitchen down there in Boston, Massachusetts. Again, 168 Newberry Street down there in Boston. My co host, as always, Cam Doherty. Time to talk Celtics, time to talk a little Olympics as well. A lot of question marks as far as the Celtics were concerned. So the first thing was Derek White gets invited over Finals MVP Jaylen Brown. Then the second thing is Jason Tatum's minutes in the Olympics didn't show for the kind of caliber player that he is. Cam, you wanted to talk about this today, so I'm going to let you have the floor with this one, with this NBA episode. But it also, new news today as well, Lonnie Walker signed to the Boston Celtics on a 1-year deal. Cam, attest to this and a touch on the Celtics really quick.
Yeah, so I mean, I think there were a lot of like little shockers in the Olympics of matchups. Some of the games were closer than we thought they were going to be. Team USA definitely had some moments where in the first half they were down 10 or 15 and we were like, "Oh, it's not looking good." But as Kevin Durant and some of the other players have gone on to do like interviews and appearances since they're like a very like streaky team, so they just got hot and kind of ran with it. And yeah, it's kind of funny that you brought up just the whole like saga of the Olympics with the Celtics and the whole Steve Kerr conspiracy that he's trying to break the Celtics up by doing that. I don't know. Just a lot of other funny things. I mean, I don't know how Tatum is an all-star and then doesn't get any minutes in the most important game. But then again, how does Jaylen Brown not get invited at all? But I don't know. Derek White, I mean, the Celtics have like 3 top 15, top 20 players. And that might be me gaslighting Derek White a little bit. But he's definitely like a very good player. And if the Spurs had kept him, he'd be somebody that would be getting a max contract.
I'll help you out for a second. Derek White probably isn't top 20 in the NBA or 25, but he's definitely top 5 as a two-way player in the NBA. I'll give you that. Give you that.
Yeah.
Derek White is probably, in my opinion, it's him, Drew Holiday. Mm, him, Drew Holiday, two-way player. I'm gonna say Ant Edwards. He's a good defender. Um, two-way player. Two-way player. That's actually
For like
really
a
hard to
guard, De'Aaron
do.
Fox.
De'Aaron Fox, yep. And then I could probably say like Mikal Bridges, right? It's kind of a two-way player. He can
Yeah, or
score,
Suggs or whatever, yeah.
right? So
Either one.
I look at it as like the Celtics team they're gonna lose Porzingis until Christmas time. Obviously, that's gonna be a hole to fill. But we did see in the finals that Xavier Tillman can come in there and he can play valuable minutes. So I look at it as it might be a disadvantage for the first half of the year, but I think Cam and I can both attest to this. It doesn't matter if you're injured in December or November. It matters if you're injured in April, May, and June. And I think if Porzingis has enough time to come back, obviously, slow roll it. Don't try to rush him back. I don't think seeding really matters for the Celtics this year. They've already proven that they can be the number one seed and win. So, and they also proved a lot during this postseason that they could go into teams' buildings and win. So, I don't think there's a lot of question marks with this team going into this year, Cam. I mean, people are going to get really worried about Porzingis not being there. I say, did you guys not see Al Horford in the finals? I mean, I understand Al Horford's a year older and people are going to try to say that he's washed or whatever, but Al Horford is literally the perfect complement to all of these other players' games. I mean, all Al Horford has to do is he doesn't have to do what he did in 2018. He doesn't have to score 18 or 15 points a game anymore. He doesn't have
Not
to
even
do
that, or what
that.
he did in Atlanta, he doesn't have to be the like number one, number two option.
He has to be the number
Just got to
5.
knock down the open shots he gets. Yeah,
Right. And, that's perfect for Al because he doesn't have any pressure on him now. He's got that championship now, so I think he's going to play with a lot more vengeance this year because they're going to try to seriously go for this repeat. Now, here's my question to you is there anybody that really scares you in the East for the Celtics to play? Because I can't really think of one that scares me. I mean, some people are gonna say New York because they got Bridges, right? And they got Randall, and they got all those
yeah,
boys
that's
over
if
there.
they stay healthy. I don't know. I don't think New York's. I mean, I don't know. I feel like New York might surprise some people and go far, but I don't know. I mean, definitely, I still think Brunson's their best player. Not to be a Brunson sexual or anything, but he's definitely when push comes to shove and you need somebody to get that bucket, he's definitely their player. I mean, I expect a lot from Philly, but who knows? Um, Orlando, but I don't know. It's still like a young team. And then everyone's gonna say like Milwaukee, of course, but I don't know.
They lost that team lost their identity when they traded Drew Holiday for Dame. I said it the day it happened. That was the stupidest thing Milwaukee could have done. Like Drew Holiday was the perfect complement to Giannis Antetokounmpo because all Giannis had to do was, okay, Drew, you get beat one time out of these 10 possessions that, you're defending. All right, I got you. I'm going to go block that shot. That's what Giannis had to do. He just had to literally play the basket. That's all he had to do. Now when you don't have that, you don't have a perimeter defender. People are going to say Chris Middleton's a good defender. I say you don't watch basketball. Chris Middleton is an ass defender. He gets crossed up a lot. He gets put into sets a lot. He can't get through a screen. We've seen all this. We saw it this year. Indiana fucking screened the shit out of him during that playoff run that Indiana had. Indiana was screening everybody. Indiana had the most prolific offense last year. They did offensively. They did.
Yeah, he'll keep stabbing you from the mid range like MJ though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He will. He will. But it's one of those things like Indiana's probably their biggest test. I would say. I mean, realistically, I mean, yeah, people are going to say, okay, well, Indiana went to game 7 against New York and Brunson got hurt. We don't know what can happen. I say, okay, well, I think Indiana could have won that game regardless if Brunson was there or not. They were playing that well in New York. They were playing that well, you know? So I look for it to be this. The biggest test that they'll have will be playing Embiid, right? It will be playing Philly, I think, because I think we can both agree to this that Porzingis wouldn't be able to defend Joel Embiid. I mean, can we be honest? I mean, Porzingis ain't stopping Joel Embiid. The problem that Joel Embiid always has is the supporting cast around him wasn't good enough. Obviously they get rid of Tobias Harris, they bring in Paul George, they sign Maxey to the extension. Maxey's feeling himself. But are all the others going to be able to contribute like the Celtics others contributed? And let's not forget, Sam Hauser has another year under his belt. Pritchard has another year under his belt. All these players are going to get better. And that's what's scary. That's what's scary for the Celtics. Anything else to touch on, Cam, with the Celtics situation?
Oh, with just what the just that the players with that, or I
Just
mean, did we didn't really go over Lonnie Walker much?
Yeah, I mean, what I think I was gonna ask you, what did Lonnie Walker bring to this team, if anything? And because I kind of think he's kind of a similar player to Pritchard, just not as good of a shooter. And then the other thing is like with what I brought up about Horford having to play some minutes and Tillman play some minutes, could you see a scenario where if Porzingis, maybe it's not December, let's say it's January, do the Celtics make a trade for a big man, such as like, I don't know, like a Clint Capella who is down there in Atlanta and kind of ain't really liking himself too much down there? Is that is that somebody that they could bring
Yeah,
in?
so in general, I love that you were thinking like that because I was just about to say bringing in Lonnie Walker. Who knows? Maybe they're gonna trade somebody else, thinking that Lonnie Walker can fill that spot. But who knows? I think that would be kind of an interesting. You sign Lonnie Walker and then two players get traded out for somebody to get like a big man. That would actually be that'd be a good move. But I don't think they're gonna go that far. I think they're gonna stay exactly where they're at after signing him. But who knows? That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Do
I
a
just
2-for-1 and trade some picks for a fucking good big man.
yeah, I mean,
I mean,
you could
another good big man because Al Horford and Porzingis are both definitely really good players.
yeah, but then you could play everybody at their natural position if you think
Yeah,
about it.
imagine Al Horford playing the 4. That'd be sweet.
Well, think of a crazy world like this, Cam. What if Porzingis played the 4? And what if Capella was the 5?
Damn.
And then you have Tatum at the 3, you have Brown at the 2, you have Holiday at the 1, and you're bringing Derek White, Al Horford, Lonnie Walker, Sam Hauser, Xavier Tillman, all off the bench. That's a perfect world.
Yeah, that
And
would be
and it's a
so
real it's
cracked.
it's a real possibility though because the Celtics have about 11 million in cap room. If they trade two of these players, let's say it's okay, let's just say for the sake of argument that Atlanta wants Pritchard. Let's just say it's Pritchard that Atlanta were to want, right? I think you still do that trade because you have players with the Celtics right now that can do what Pritchard can do. I mean, obviously, a lot of players in the Celtics might not be able to hit it from fucking half court in the finals, but they have kind of the same players that can do some of the same things. And let's not forget that Pritchard is undersized too. So if you can get a Clint Capella and a backup point guard who's a little bit taller and a better defender, I mean, I think you take that all day. And if the Celtics can somehow get that lineup together, because I think it's a real possibility, because Capella's on an expiring deal. So he's definitely going to be a name that at the trade deadline this year that people are going to go after. He is a good rebounder. He can play good defense when healthy. And if he's on the Celtics, let's say he only plays 25 minutes a game, that's all they need him to do. And I think that would be somebody great for the Celtics to pick up. As far as that's concerned, Cam, and you said that that would be crazy, but it's a real possibility. Another real possibility is that what happens, I know this was the Celtics episode, but let's touch on out west for a second too. Is there anybody out west right now that could beat this Celtics team if they get to the finals this year? Is there anybody in the West that could actually beat the Celtics?
I don't know. I mean, there's a few teams that would at least hold their own, but I'm not convinced that anyone would beat the Celtics. I mean, especially you think of like the number 1 seed last year being the Thunder. I don't know if the Thunder can get through all the way. I'd love to see them play the Celtics. Like, I don't think that's going to go very well for them.
So
Or you go just down the line, like the Nuggets would be a good matchup. T Wolves, I don't think are going to make it. The Mavericks could make it again. I don't think the Suns are going to do that well. I don't know. I see some of the teams towards the bottom making some runs. I see maybe the Kings and Rockets
yeah,
like getting a lot better.
they'll
Maybe not
definitely.
making like deep runs, but at least making the playoffs. So if one or two of them make it, who knows? Maybe the Suns trade a player and don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a real possibility. A lot of things could happen between now and then. Is there anything else as far as Western Conference? I mean, there's the Rockets, there's the Kings, but there's also like teams that didn't make like there's always a team, right, that didn't make the playoffs last year that will make the playoffs this year in the West. Now, if you had to pick a team in the West that didn't make the playoffs last year that will make it this year, who would it be?
I'm gonna go with a hot take and say San Antonio.
You think so? I think it's time. I
I
mean,
mean,
they got
I think they're like one or two trades away, but I could definitely see San Antonio trading picks to the Celtics because they have 4 first round picks this next year. I don't know what they would get, but like what would the Celtics give up for a first round pick, knowing that it's like Chicago or Atlanta, or like knowing it's going to be a pretty good first round pick.
I mean, it would probably, if it were going to be anybody, I would say that it would be White back to San Antonio. For one first rounder, that's what it would get them from Chicago, I think. I don't think that gets you Jaylen Brown. I don't think that would get you Porzingis either. I think that would get you Derek White. And maybe
Yeah, I mean, who knows? That might only even get you like Pritchard and somebody else. But yeah, if that gets you Derek White or even, I mean, I see like the Bridges trade. What was that? 6 first round picks. Like even if it's 2 for Derek White for some reason, that would still be awesome for the Spurs. I mean, the Celtics have like the infinite money glitch. They talked to Pep Guardiola for like
mm,
15 minutes and then just could spend as much money as they wanted to sign them
mm,
to get them for those deals. It was just crazy.
for sure. For sure. Now, guys, make sure you guys check out Cam and I's TikTok page too, labeled the same as the podcast, The New England Shakeup. Make sure you guys check us out on Stunt, and make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube. This is the biggest thing, guys. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button at the end of each podcast. Cam, is there anything that you wanted to touch on at all more today for this little NBA check-in with everybody towards the off season and the preseason coming up?
No, I mean, I want to just thank everyone for listening, and I'm just ready to see the preseason games start.
Go Celtics. And we are out. Peace.